of North Dakota land, where the skies are wide and the freedom stands. With a Bible in my hand and a prayer in my heart, living this life where the wild plays its part. Dust on my boots and my hat pulled low, got my trusty rifle and I'm ready to go. Hunting the game as the sun hits the sky, in the heart of the 701 I feel so alive. Guns and the 701, that's how we roll. Faith in the good Lord, that's how we hold the line of the legacy that runs through our veins. In this wild, wild land where the spirit remains, we're living free, living bold, side by side, with God on our plate and our hearts open wide. Ranching the fields, the cattle run free, with a purpose so strong, it's our grand legacy. The rivers run deep as we cast out our lines, fishing the waters where the North Star shines. Got the warmth of the sun with the chill of the night, with every shot fired we're ready to fight for the freedom we cherish. The second is true, with family beside us we stand through and through. Guns and the 701, that's how we roll. Faith in the good Lord, that's how we hold the line of the legacy that runs through our veins. In this wild, wild land where the spirit remains, we're living free, living bold, side by side, with God on our plate and our hearts open wide. In a world that's spinning with sins that they wield, we stick to our values, our fate is revealed. With the word as our guide, we tread on the earth, a community built from the love, not the curse. Raising our voices, singing loud through the night, for God and our freedom, we'll continue the fight. Let the rifles ring out, let the spirits align. In North Dakota's embrace, our souls intertwine. So when you hear the gunshots and feel that proud sound, know it's faith and freedom that echoes around. From the fields of the ranch to the depths of the lake, with God on our side, there's nothing at stake. Guns and the 71, forever we'll stand in the heart of our faith, in this great free land.
All right. Hey, good evening, fellow MVs. Welcome to episode 176, Guns of the 701. I am your host, Clayton Peterson. We got a great show coming up for you. Carrie Roller is going to be joining me. So she got a moose hunt opportunity to talk about. I know she had a great elk season. We're going to let her fill us in on that. She's also a patriot. I mean, Carrie, I've known a long time. She's also the kettle corn lady. So you're going to want to tune in here. We've had some good times, and we just don't talk as often as we should. And I thought, you know what, here's a great opportunity to bring her on the show tonight. Of course, I want to remind everybody that I'm here every single Thursday night right now, but I have decided we are going to be moving this show after the Lent services. We're going to be moving this show to Tuesday nights, most likely. I'll make that announcement permanent as soon as I have it all figured out. But I think we're going to be moving it. So starting in April, we're probably looking April 7th, somewhere in there. I don't know yet. We will see where it is. I think that's probably be my first Tuesday show if everything works out. I'll give you guys notification on that as soon as we make that change. Hey, Gene, good to have you. Dan Brown from the Western Edge over there. Good evening. Brian Warner. Hey, good evening, my fellow MVE. And, of course, Leon Francis. And that's one thing I want to remind you. Tomorrow night, Blackbeard Logic with Leon Francis. You're not going to miss that at 5 o'clock Mountain, 6 o'clock Central. But in the morning, KFYR 550 a.m., I join Todd Mitchell and Mitchell in the morning every single Friday at 7:15 a.m. Mountain, 8:15 Central. We're going to have a great show packed there, I think. There's been a lot of things going on. I mean, we've got the Virginia legislature passing some horrible gun laws. We've had some recent shootings again. We got a lot of things to talk about. And, of course, every Sunday morning, we have Sunday Sportsman's Devotion with Pastor Vance Bishop, and he does that at 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Again, just blending God and sportsman and hunting all together. So don't miss that as well. So with that, I want to start out with my prayer, and then we'll do our Second Amendment. Heavenly Father, we'd like to thank you for another blessed day. Yeah, the weather was a little shaky today in many areas, but remember, the sun is still shining. We still have food in our belly, and we still have shelter. Everything that you provide us with, it is your grace, it is your glory, and only through you it comes. We want to ask you to watch over our men and women as they struggle and fight our battles and in the conflicts that are in the world right now. Evil is everywhere. And we just ask that you watch over them, keep them safe, and bring them to your glory as well. Help our leaders make the right decisions and make them turn to your word as we go through this time in our nation. Lord, there is a lot of struggle out there. There's a lot of angst. There's a lot of evil. Please fill those hearts that are feeling these things with your love and glory so that they can be on that right path and find you for everlasting life. Easter's coming up. We celebrate that, and it is the most profound gift you've ever given us. Your son, Jesus Christ, died on that cross so that we could all be forgiven by repenting and believing and taking you into our hearts. In your name we pray. Amen. And I'm going to introduce Carrie. I believe she's here. How are we doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. I always got to take care of business, here at the beginning.
Hey, that's the most important thing.
I love doing the Second Amendment, and I like to give the opportunity or guess if you want to do it. Otherwise, I can do it.
Sure.
All right, and I'll put it up there. I have it memorized, but not everybody does. So here we go. If you can see that, we'll let you read our Second Amendment tonight.
The Second Amendment: a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
That's right. And without it, we'd be in big trouble, wouldn't we?
Absolutely.
So I got to give a little background. Carrie, she lives over there in Dan Brown's neck of the woods.
I do.
Dan
we Brown's our fellow board member as well for the Trap Club.
Yes, and the Trap Club. Well, I'll tell you what, before we go on, as long as you brought that up, why don't you talk a little bit about what's happening with the Trap Club out there? Because I've been hearing great things.
It has been a very exciting time out at our Dickinson Clay Target Club. We, in January of last year, got word that we would be able to build a new facility. And just a few months prior to that, it was kind of a pipe dream for us. We knew that it was something that was going to, eventually happen down the road, but we did not realize it was going to happen so quickly. It just kind of fell in our lap, and our president of our club, Blaine Ducart, made a few phone calls to see if he could secure contractors that would be willing to take on that project that spring. And we were able to round them up, and we started building once the frost lifted. And then, of course, we ran into the rain issues. And our club is right out by Patterson Lake, just west of Patterson Lake there. And so we're actually where the old building is a floodplain, so we couldn't build there. And the water table is super high. We're all constantly dealing with water coming up in our trap houses in the springtime. So so we're constantly running sump pumps to pump that out of there. But so anyway, we were dealing with that. We had week-long rain, and so we had to pump all that out of there, and we eventually got it done. We finished up really probably in December, we finished with painting and cleaning, and we hosted the Dickinson Area Home Builders Association out there, kind of as a thank you for all the help and, enable for us to be able to get that built. So that was in December and January, and then we've had a few Christmas parties out there. Now, if you have a membership to the club, it's $50 a year for a family.
That's it? Wow.
That's it.
I think that's cheap.
Yeah. So if you need a membership, come and hit us up. With that membership, you have access to our club. So if you have a family event going on, we are actually hosting our first wedding out at the Dickinson Clay Target Club, March 28th, that weekend. So yeah.
Hopefully it isn't blizzarding.
Yeah. I believe it's just the reception that they're having out there. So, and then we have the firefighters. They come out and do monthly meetings there. I know Dan has the gun club or the rifle club that has meetings there. I am part of a Guns and Grace with Alana Tomjack, and we do a lot of hands-on training, target training for women only. And so
right
we
there.
are.
Is that what we're looking at right there?
Yep, that's actually our old clubhouse right there.
That's what's still on your website anyway.
Yeah. If you go to our Facebook page, you'll see our new building on there. So yeah, that's the old clubhouse there.
Okay.
So
yeah, that was kind of close to the water, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's and if on the, you can't see it on the left there, but just beyond that green grass there is the Patterson Lake. So
okay.
Yeah.
So I got a question. So how did you guys go about securing funding?
Well, actually the Game and Fish.
Okay.
We got a grant through the Game and Fish.
Which was probably Pittman Robinson money.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. Blaine took care of that. He actually called the guy up and said, hey, how do we go about getting this funding for building a new facility? And he's like, you're kidding me. He said, we had some people put in for the money. They were granted it, and they were not able to get the permitting that they needed, and they would not allow the permitting. So we were just getting ready to send the money back.
Wow.
And so that's why it was able to happen so quickly. Because if you're just building a new building, it wasn't like starting on raw ground, then you were eligible for that grant money. So
well, I want to encourage you guys as well to apply to the Outdoor Heritage Fund. I'm sure you've heard about it. I've talked about it now since I'm on that board.
Yep.
And I know that there was a couple things in there, but I'm really pushing because ranges, which are usually formed under nonprofits, would be eligible. And I see so much in that fund, the $1.5 million dumped into it every month.
Yep.
So I'd love to see that. And when I visited with the governor, when Kelly was interviewing me, I said that is one of my priorities. I'd like to see some of that funding go to ranges, which has very rarely went to ranges.
Yeah, and that's actually I've been visiting with Senator Greg Kessel out of Belfield in District 39, and he was telling us about that. So our plan after we finish this project now is we're hoping to put in 6 new trap houses, and then so we're going to apply for the heritage funding for that. And
good.
Long term, we've discussed putting in skeet, 5-stand, sporting clays, but
I'm just going to ask you
that gets up there, So
it does. Sporting clays. I actually myself personally, after I was introduced to it, that's what I prefer to shoot. I really do.
I would so love to try sporting clays. I have not had a chance. I've watched it at the high school state trap meet, and it just looks so much fun. I would love to try it sometime.
So somebody asks, is this the lady who was at the Watford City Gun Show?
No, that was not me. Okay. I was not. It could have been Alana Tomjack, if that's who they're referring to. She does go to a lot of the gun shows around the state, and I believe she was at the Watford City one. Okay. So
And that was Gene. Hey, Gene, good to have you back. We haven't had Gene on for a while. And Gene, we got to have a discussion about Dakota Territory gun collectors, which I do know that. And he says they do give grants to shooting ranges as well, so that might be a good outlet as well, Carrie, to check out.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll look into that. So,
but I do know that I've been talking about this for a couple of weeks here. A few weeks, that was 2 weeks ago, about the changes in gun shows, and I seen that Dakota Territory actually has the same policy, which bans basically carrying at a gun show, which I think is ludicrous. But Gene, you and I probably should get together, because I'm sure you'd come on the show and explain to me what that is actually all about, Dakota Territory, because if it's from what I read, I'm not very happy about it. So we'll get together about that and talk about it. But no, I'm glad to hear. Like I said, I would love to see you guys expand, but I haven't been up there. I really haven't. I've seen the sign to it. I never popped in there. I need to probably get up there and maybe bring
you
the
should
boys,
do that. I know somebody that has a set of keys. So
and I know Dan's around, and I should just we need to make a trip up there. And I'm trying to do more of that, where we're just like, you know what? We're just going to do it. Now, I can't go anywhere here, probably starting in about a week and a half, because we could have early calves coming. And I've got things narrowed down. I'm usually 90% done that first 45 days, but there's always those stragglers. So I just say April, May, I just pretty much don't get to go anywhere.
Yep. So. Well, and by the end of May, looking into June, your weather's going to be a lot nicer.
Yeah.
So.
No, absolutely. Jean said she had a few kids with her, so it probably wasn't Carrie.
It's probably Alana.
There you go. Go.
Because her daughter, Daisy, is usually typically with her.
So, do you guys out there hold actual high school trap shooting events then?
We do. So we have a high school trap team. We have Trinity, and then Dickinson, and then South Hart, Belfield, Medora.
Wow.
Homeschool kids are all on one. Last year we had 64 high school trap shooters. This year,
good.
Yeah, it's been growing. I mean, I remember when they first started, the first few years when they started, I didn't really know much about it then. My boys, I knew trap because my dad shot trap when I was younger down in Gascoigne, North Dakota.
Oh my goodness, Gascoigne.
North Dakota. Yeah.
Now if you blink, you might miss it driving by.
That is so true. Yep, so true. Anyway, my boys had gone with one of their friends out to the club, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to shoot trap." And I knew their dad. I knew his dad, and so I knew that because I'm very much a safety person when it comes to firearms, and and I knew his dad, so I felt comfortable sending them, and they went out and they're like, "Yeah, we're going to be on this clay target club." I was like, "Okay, great,"
Awesome.
And so then they would go with him. And so I never really knew anything about it, didn't go about it. And I believe that year they had 7 kids on their team. So that was the first few years. That was barely enough to have a team, because you need 5. And then they never did it again after that. And then my daughter was playing basketball, and she's just like, "Yeah, I'm done basketball, but I wanted to do something." And she loved, when she turned 13, she wanted a pistol. I was like, "Okay, you're getting a pistol." My mom was not very happy about that. She's like, "Why are you buying her a gun at 13?" I said, "Hey, she's my daughter. I'm going to teach her how to use it."
Absolutely.
And that's the summer that I really got involved with Guns and Grace with Alana, Tom, Jack, and my daughter and I. At 13, we got her a little 22, and we would go out and do every week we'd go up in target practice, and she got to be a good little shooter. I was like, you really enjoy handguns. I want to go try trap shooting, and kind of had to twist her arm. And one of my other friends, her daughter, she's like, she's not getting a choice. She's going. And so I was like, "Well, your friend is going to go, so you should try it." So we did. My daughter fell in love with it. Her friend hated it. She ended up not doing it anymore, but my daughter stuck with it. So yeah.
Well, I've been seeing a huge growth in the high school trap shooting. In 2015, I got introduced to it out in Minnesota. Did you realize Minnesota at that time had the biggest high school trap shooting?
Yes.
It was statewide. They were the biggest state for it. And I was like, are you kidding?
I know. And Montana doesn't even have a trap team.
Well,
High
South
school
Dakota
trap.
at that time didn't. North Dakota didn't.
Yeah.
At that time, there was
Yep.
really not much. Now, up in Minot, there was a huge trap shooting community, and there
Yep.
was some of that stuff going on around the state. But I think maybe even North Dakota shooting sports maybe had something to do with that. But there
Yep.
wasn't anything in the high schools.
Right.
So I know I pitched the idea as the rep, but I retired that next year. And then well, that was about 2 years later it started taking off. And I was so happy to see it. I know Sioux Falls had something going on. Some
Yep.
private schools picked it up. In South Dakota, 4-H shooting was bigger than anything.
Sure.
And then that kind of morphed, and they took some of the people from there, I guess you'd say, and they started into the high school shooting sports.
Yep.
Basically, the trap shooting. It's great
Mhm.
to see it happening. I know Lawmen had a team. I didn't check to see if they're going to have one this year,
Mhm.
but I know they've also got one. Maybe Gene can chime in. I don't know, but I imagine Mobridge might have one. But it's huge, isn't it? It's just
It
it keeps
is.
growing.
I
As far
mean,
as kids shooting handguns young, good for you. My boys have been around guns since they were able to hold one. So
well, and it's crazy is like my earliest memory was about 2 years old, and I that's kind of unheard of, but I remember when I told my mom, I said, I remember Dad being at the kitchen table cleaning pistols. And
Yeah.
she's like, how do you remember that? I'm like, I could explain all the details, like the color of the chair, and
Yep.
it was one of those rolling chairs with the little casters on it. And she's like, how do you remember that? I was like, I don't know. She's like, you were about 2. So I guess it's just something, and I remember the safetiness of being ingrained in my head. You never pointed at something you don't intend to kill, and so I've just always kind of been that way. Yeah,
Treat every gun loaded.
that's
Don't
right.
point at something unless you actually intend to shoot it, basically.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Keep your barrel in, the basics. This isn't
Yep.
rocket science. And if everybody practices that, you shouldn't have any problems. I mean, granted, my boys have been shooting since a very young age, even handguns, but they were never allowed to do it without me. They had to come and ask. And then I'd be like, yep, let's go out. I'm blessed that I have land I can put a range on. So I have a range out here. And there's nothing more fun than shooting reactive targets, which steel is great because you get to hear the ding.
Ding. Yeah.
I love reactive targets. Well, that's why trap is fun.
Yeah.
You get to see it instantly, right? And the more dust you make out of them, the better shot to make.
Yeah. Well, and we've really had a lot of fun out there, especially with the kids, and it's actually drawn in a lot of the community. I love to cook, so I'm always like, hey, let's throw burgers on the grill or barbecue or taco in a bag or something. And then we do night shooting. So we have lights, stadium lights that we put up, and we throw white clays. Well, now this last summer we added black lights. So we have black lights that we set up, and we got lime green clays.
So you got to tell me what nights and what time do you do this at?
Well, it just kind of ran. We do it at least once a month, probably usually Thursday evenings. And we're out there till 10. Actually, the first time we did it last year, the sheriff department showed up. They're like, what do you got going on out here? So
just tell Dan to call him and they take care of it. Even though he's retired. But I mean, you're gonna have to. I would love to come up and try that. I've never shot under the lights, not with black lights. I've done night shooting with the white clays, but I've never done that. And I'm probably a little rusty. I used to be a pretty good trap shooter, but I just don't get out to do it enough anymore. And I need to. Both the boys need to start going, and we've done a little of it here. And there's no reason we shouldn't be doing it. So, I'll tell you what, Carrie, let's take our first break. Unless you got something you want to add about the Trap Club, because I guess let's do that quickly. I'm guessing you guys do fundraisers and things. I think I've seen Dan send me stuff when you guys have like gun raffles, but do you got anything coming up in the near future there?
Yep. We actually do have our 3rd annual gun raffle coming up. And our tickets are being printed at the printer right now, and we will have those by the end of the month for sure. We have our mandatory parent meeting for our youth high school league, so we'll be passing them out then. But we'll have 1,200 tickets for sale. They're $20 a ticket, or 6 of them for $100. So
all right. Sounds good. Well, when we get them flyers, and either you or Dan, I know Dan good too, so just give me the information. We'll make sure we get on here. Dan just piped in here and said that the club is open every Tuesday and every Thursday night after May 1st. So there you guys go.
Yep.
Dickinson Trap. What do you call it? What's the official name?
Dickinson Clay Target Club.
Clay Target Club. There you go. Dickinson.
Yeah.
Target
We had
Club.
to change our name after we became a nonprofit. So we went from Dickinson Trap Club to Dickinson Clay Target Club.
Had to change your name, huh?
Yeah. Yep.
That's interesting. Gene says Mobridge does not
government
have
stuff.
anything, but the surrounding area does. And Doug there, Axe from Lauer Auto Repair, one of our great sponsors, says obviously Walls was never an instructor. When we were talking about Minnesota, ain't that the truth?
Remember when his little, didn't he go on like a little pheasant hunting excursion too?
Couldn't even operate his gun. And then we had Kelly on, I think it was the next week. And when we brought him, he was holding the actual shotgun because he had one just like it. He goes, I'm going to start out by giving an instruction to Governor Walz. That is awesome. Our governor's like, here, take that. You know, I love that kind of stuff. So, all right, let's take our first break here, and we'll come back, and then we got another little raffle to talk about, don't we? And I still want you to talk about your elk hunt because I saw the pictures, I saw you having fun, and I want to remind everybody that success is determined by the hunter, and you might find out that there is a different way to have success in a hunt, right, Carrie?
That's right.
So, all right, let's take a quick break. Thanks some sponsors, and we'll be right back here with Carrie Roller. And by the way, I got to give her a plug. She does kettle corn, and we're going to let her talk about that too. So, all right, we will be right back.
Sounds good.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota. Give them a call at 701-258-6308. The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308. 701-258-6308. Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right, go where lemons go. Kalen's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalen and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just one block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemon. Kalen's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
For the best gun gear for every and any situation, Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
At Horton Laser Craft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art.
From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton Lasercraft makes every moment unforgettable. Horton Lasercraft is owned and operated by a local veteran and his wife located near Thunderhawk, South Dakota. They provide custom laser products at a reasonable price, and their turnaround time is fast and efficient.
Custom board cutting, glassware, decanter sets, mugs, assorted stainless steel jewelry, assorted tags, decor, custom acrylic nightlights, and much, much more.
Call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton Lasercraft, where memories are engraved.
All right, we are back. Hey, Steve's joining in. Steve, great to see you. Steve was another great volunteer there in Bismarck. So we still got a lot of the NRA volunteers that tune in. I'm glad we do, because that was always a big family here in North and South Dakota. And now we don't have much of a Friends of NRA event anymore, but they're trying to make a comeback, and I'm glad to see that. There's been some big changes happening there. I'm planning to have Nate on and possibly Jason again here, everybody, and give us an update. I imagine we're going to see a few more answers after the annual meeting, so I think I'm going to wait till after the annual meetings take place. Maybe we can get you a little more updated. So, all right. Well, Carrie, we left off. I think we covered the Dickinson Trap Shooting Club pretty good. So why don't you update me a little bit on a raffle that you got coming up?
Yeah, actually, we are in full swing selling tickets right now. The Southwest area, or the Southwest Art Gallery and Science Center, they were the recipients of one of the special allocation tags that the North Dakota Game and Fish gives away to 501c3 nonprofits. I have been putting in for one for 3 years for the Clay Target Club, but we have not been drawn. Well, This year, the gallery got drawn.
Okay. And I got it up here right now if everybody can read
that.
And
in the stipulations for the tag, they can keep 80% of whatever they make, but 20% must go to an outdoors. I don't even really know. I can't remember.
It's got to go to some kind of an
outdoors
conservation type.
Yeah. Yep. And so this year, the Southwest Art Gallery chose the Dickinson Clay Target Club as the recipient of that. So we will get 20% of the sales from that raffle. So
is it sales or net profits?
That's a good question.
I would imagine it'd come off your profits, because I mean you got to pay
probably
on that. So
right, and I don't know if they had their guns donated or if they had to pay for those. I don't know all those details of them, but yeah. So we'll be the recipient of 20% of that. So we have. I've been busy selling tickets. I put an ad up on Facebook, and I mentioned it to Scott Bachmeyer this last Saturday while he was doing his outdoor show, and my phone just kind of blew up. I've had people from all over the state. I've had people from out of state, as far as North Carolina, reach out to me and purchase tickets. So as you can see on the bottom down there, you double your chances to win if you buy a 10-ticket raffle book. You get your name put in for a chance for an extra drawing for a premium high-end prize. I'm assuming it's a gun of some sort, but I'm not.
Okay. I was just going to ask if you knew what it was. So
I don't know what it is, but my guess is probably another firearm of some sort.
And I want everybody to be aware of what I read in here, because it's something we're going to be adding to our own raffles as well. But prizes not claimed after 60 days become property of, well, these guys would be the Southwest Art Gallery and Science Center. We had some issues this year with a guy really dragging his feet, claiming his school prize from our Farm Bureau one. So we will be adding that to our tickets. And I would suggest anybody doing these, you probably need to add that to your tickets. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. So. Another thing that we do with our raffle through the Trap Club is if they are a winner of whatever gun and say they don't care to have that gun, they can take a $500 cash prize too. So.
Yeah, and I see you got some cash prize. So you got a moose hunting tag for first place. You got the painting of a moose by Sherry Roshow. Did I pronounce
Yes,
that right?
she's a very well-renowned artist in our area. Her paintings are amazing, absolutely amazing.
Then I see on here. Then you have a Damascus knife.
Yep.
I can't even. I'm not even try to slaughter that name there. But Kamagat Asuba.
Yeah.
Yeah, by Brant Roshow. That must be her husband, Brant.
Maybe a son or a
Okay,
relative.
son. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Fourth place, Browning X-Bolt 300 Win May. Fifth place is
Mhm.
the Mossberg Gold Reserve 2 over and under. Sixth place, a Winchester 270. Nice caliber. I love my 270. I've had it for years. Seventh place is a Leupold 10x42 binoculars. Eighth place, $500 cash prize. Ninth place, guys, bad choice, Yeti. They're anti-gun things.
Yeah.
Really?
I did pick those ones.
A Abominable Snowman 48 quart. I just can't even say the name. Wheeled cooler, and the 10th place $200 cash prize. And I caught a lot of grief, but we actually, when we were doing the banquets, we had to discontinue with Yeti because they're the ones that cut off the contract with us. They did, and even in their headquarters in Texas at the time, they had no firearms allowed on the premise. Like, really? Both of your sales go to hunters.
Hunting, yes.
There's so many better choices out there that I'm telling you, you don't
Yeah.
have to do business with them people. But
Yep.
I get it. Who knows? Maybe they got it donated too. Sometimes that's the way that goes. So,
Yeah.
I know that we had the question come in: how many tags or how many tickets are being sold?
1,000 tickets.
1,000. So,
Yep.
100,000 gross. So that should be honestly, when you figured out the 20% going to a group, you guys could see 10 to 15,000. Because I mean, there's also cost involved in doing a raffle, of course. So that might be a pretty nice little check for you guys.
Definitely. That will surely help our kids program.
Absolutely.
You know, it as you all know, ammo gets expensive, and
No.
yeah, so we try to help out. We get a lot of great sponsors from our community. That first year, my daughter and I and one of the other girls and her mom, we went out and hit up a lot of the area businesses in Dickinson. Like, there's more businesses than I had even knew existed. I mean, we went well over 200 businesses. We just kind of drove around and stopped at each one, and the girls ended up collecting, like, I think it was like close to $46,000 in donations. So that's really, really, really helped our program. It really helps to bring that cost down for parents, because some of them have multiple kids in it, and you're looking at $80 to $100 for a case of shells. And I mean, my daughter goes out to the club and she can go through a case of shells in 2 nights.
I would encourage you guys also to apply to the NRA Foundation grants.
Okay.
I know there's a banquet in Mandan. I don't know if Dickinson's doing one this year, but I think Williston was bringing one back this year, possibly, or Watford City. I don't remember. And then I think there's one on the eastern side. So there are a few banquets still happening in North Dakota, and you know what? If you can get an extra $1,000 or an extra $1,500, that all helps. It just absolutely does. So
yep. Yeah, we've even purchased a few extra guns to have, so for kids that aren't able to afford one. So it's been nice.
I'm gonna throw the other flyer up here. There's a little different one. Here's where they're available. This one tells more kind of where you can get them. Of course, Kerry has them, but Home and Land Company, Southwest Art Gallery and Science Center, 3rd Avenue Liquor and Beach, 4K Arsenal and Killdeer, Dickinson Clay and Target Club, of course, Red Rock Ford, DSU Egg Department, Andrus Outdoors, and Dakota Rifle. So if you need tickets, I mean, it's probably pretty easy to get them. If you want, you can always email me at gunsandthe701.com, and I can put you in touch with Dan. I can put you in touch with Carrie and a lot of them other people I've seen on there. I seem to know a lot of people still, so we can definitely get you hooked up with somebody, get you a ticket. What we got? I'm just kind of going through some of these comments here. Gene says, sounds like the Mech 600 Junior for Saturday Night Reloading is in order. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Have a Saturday Night Reloading, right? That's what he's talking about there. Have the kids do that and get yourself set up and do a bunch of reload.
That is something I want to learn how to do. I have it on my want to learn.
Hey, Doug wants to know. He says, maybe I missed this. Is there any way to be a sponsor? I'm guessing about the trap clubs. Doug, why don't you? I can get you in touch also with Carrie. We can do that, or with
Yeah,
Dan. But
absolutely.
absolutely, Jennifer Jean says hello. Hey, Jennifer. So, I would absolutely. I'm sure we can make that happen for you, Dougie.
Yep.
Lauer Auto Repair has been a great sponsor here, and I know that Doug really supports shooting and shooting sports and Second Amendment. So. If
Yeah,
nothing else, we'll get you guys. I'll get you. I'll do a little group text, and you guys can take it from there.
Sounds good.
All right. So, what is your? I guess what's your target date, or do they have it on there? I didn't look.
June 6th is going to be the drawing. We're gonna have a little barbecue out at the club.
Okay.
So you're welcome to come out and grab some food, check out our new facility, and then they'll start doing the drawing at 5:00.
Gotcha. Okay. So your target's to get them sold out by then, and
Yeah.
I think that you can do that. I mean,
Well,
really,
you know what? I've only had these tickets. They gave me 10 books of tickets a week and a half ago, and I have 3.5 books left.
Well, there you go. Perfect,
So,
right?
Yeah, and I know we do have the president of our club has quite a few tickets available yet. So
Good. Yeah. No, I think it's a great thing, and I love seeing. I love seeing all these trap organizations in high schools. You know,
yeah,
they're not technically in there, and every school's different. I know Lemon down here they don't really support it. It's affiliated, but not.
That's kind of how it is around here as well. They don't support it at all. But
right.
Honestly, last year we had a really hard time getting into the schools to we had some flyers printed up, and it was difficult, very difficult to get it in there.
That's a whole nother can of worms, but people need to wake up. You need to start pressuring your school board. We're seeing turns take place in public schools. Guns are not the evil thing that they've made them out to be. That's where this junk comes from, because it's put out there through public schools all the time. And having a flyer up for your high school trap club, what is wrong with that?
Right. Yeah.
Honestly, what is wrong? It's a legal activity, and the school treats it like it's something that's illegal you should never ever do. That's wrong.
Yeah. I wish that they would do some sort of promotional video like at state. I mean, we have 500 kids there, minimum 500 kids.
So where's the state competition held?
In Horace.
In Horace, okay, that's great range over there.
And it is. It's very nice. It sounds like there's a possibility of maybe next year where anybody from Bismarck East will be shooting in Horace, and anybody from Bismarck West will be shooting in Williston. And then it'll be at the same time, just because there's so many kids.
Right.
We're there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday to get all the conferences in, and
what they could do is kind of call that a regional, East and West, and then I can tell you one of Minot's they always had a fantastic range.
They do.
There.
They have a really nice range up there as well.
That would be the place. It's a little north, but it's more central, where the winners from the East and West in the region. I think that'd be a great idea.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like we'd be shooting at the same time, and everything would be, we'd log into a computer system. So if there was two people, two kids that were tied, one in Fargo, one in Williston, then they'd have the virtual shoot off. They'd shoot off wherever they're at, and then
I just think it'd be fun to have another weekend where you do the regionals.
Fun to do that. The only thing is you're cutting into ATA shoots, which is already a struggle, because they're I think
they shoot every weekend, don't they?
Pretty much.
Every week.
Yeah, and they messed us up this year. They moved high school state a weekend later, and so it just really messed up a lot of our shoots. We ended up with the Rough Rider shoot in Dickinson, and then literally the following weekend after, which is 4th of July weekend, is our Lundgren shoot. So 2 really huge shoots. The Rough Rider shoot's really big. So it makes it a little difficult.
So I'm guessing you guys post this stuff on your Facebook page mostly. Probably don't update your website as much. Or are you trying to keep
we're trying to do more of that. The guy that was doing our website, he ended up moving. So we have a new secretary in now, and he's more computer literate than I am, so
Well,
I have to take care of all the financial stuff. And
I
let me
can tell
I'm
you,
going crazy right now.
maintaining a website is a lot of work.
Yep.
I finally, after I got it as far as I could with our stuff here, I now have the gal who I started working with to host it, host the actual site. I just hired her to do it because it's way easier. She does a fantastic job, and that's what she does all day, every day. So
Yep.
I don't have to sit there and try to carve out an hour or two to update and do things because it's a lot of work to maintain something like that.
Well, and especially if you're not really familiar, with the software, some of them are really not user friendly.
No, hers was what she had developed. That's what I used, and it really wasn't bad. But she's got even more tools than I have, from the site itself. So if you ever go see our new Guns&701 website, it looks great. She did a really good job. Now everything's integrated automatically. So like the show right now, boom, it goes there and it stays there and it uploads the current one off of YouTube. I don't have to do that no more. I used to have to do that manually. And the store looks great. We're going to be adding some things to that. But yeah, that's we only got one item on there right now, but that's actually been selling pretty good. So yeah, I should plug that a little more on my own show. I don't even do it. All right. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to take another quick break. We're going to do a short couple-minute one, and then we'll come back and wrap it up if you got any more you want to add about this. And then otherwise, let's talk about your elk hunt because you drew a tag. I have never drawn one yet, so I'm a little bit jealous, but I put in every year. So
I'll tell you all the secrets.
All right. We'll be right back.
Okay, bye.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right, go where lemons go. Kalen's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalen and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just one block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemon. Kalen's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Thanks to our great sponsors. I said Lauer Auto Repair has been doing a fantastic job on my stuff when I take it up there. I highly recommend it. Plus, they are pro Second Amendment. You absolutely know that when you're in Bismarck. So 309 South Washington Street. If you don't know where that's at, where the new Runnings or the old Walmart is, right there on Washington Street, just go straight north and look off to the east, and I think it's like 1 or 2 blocks. So just check them out down there, 701-258-6308, and ask for Axe, and he'll get you, Doug, sorry, probably better ask for his real name. But anyway, he's there at Lauer Auto Repair.
It's crazy. I drive that road every time I'm in Bismarck. Never ever noticed that place. And then once they started being on, a sponsor of your show, every time I drive by there now, I'm like, oh, there's the Guns in the 701 guys.
That's right. Yeah. So
yeah,
we appreciate everybody going. And like I tell everybody, when you do business with our sponsors, say you heard it here, because that's how they know it's working too. And Kalen's Auto, of course, I probably 10 times over funded his sponsorship for the year because I do a lot of work there. But Kalen's great. Knowing him, he really likes the classic cars. So, him and I get along great, and they also put on the Dragon Main event in Lemon now in the summer, so I'm looking forward to that. That's coming up. I got the 62 GMC. we got a Mustang now, and I'm working on another vehicle, so I might have 3 vehicles to run in the Dragon Main. So that'd be kind of fun. That's, you know what? I'm semi-retired. I got to have a hobby, right? Anyway, so all right. Anything else you want to add to just before we get off the subject of the raffle?
No.
Not
If
really.
they're interested in a ticket, they can. I mean, you can put my number up there, and they can contact me.
Okay, give me the number quick, like
It's 701-590-0999. And, for people that aren't local to the Dickinson area, if they want to do PayPal or Venmo,
There
or
it
if
is,
they
right
want to
there.
go the old school route and drop me a check in the mail, we can do that as well. So
that's me, old man out there. That's what I'm doing. So anyway, again, if you want information or you need to get yourself in on this great raffle, 701-590-0999. For everyone on the podcast, when this gets uploaded, again, 701-590-0999. And let's face it, it's hard to get a moose tag. I've been applying, I have not drawn one. Here's a chance. And you can hunt anywhere, from what I understand, in any of the units,
Yep.
right?
any
mean-
unit, anywhere in the state. Yep.
I'm telling you, it's one of them chances of a lifetime if you draw. And there are some big moose in North Dakota. They ain't as plentiful as, say, some places, but there's a good population of moose. I had a moose in my yard here about 3 months ago, down
Yeah.
here on the border.
we have a farmstead down by New England, and probably 6-7 years ago, we were out deer hunting, and I was like, "Oh, there's something big out there!" And so we stopped on the road, and I pulled the binoculars up. I'm like, "No way!" And sure enough, it was a cow just kind of walking up this draw. So we sat there and watched it, and my kid's like, "Shoot it, Mom!" I'm like, "No,
No, it's worth it.
no."
It's worth it. Yeah. And I can tell you that I got this. I had to come up to Dickens. I needed when I was licensing that Mustang. It was a quick trip up there and back. So, and I saw one south of Dickinson, just about halfway between New England and Dickinson. I was like, that's pretty cool. And that was a pretty good sized moose, really, there. A little better
Yep.
not put your name on there. So,
Yeah.
all right. So you went elk hunting. Of course, let's say you drew an elk tag. Did you draw? I don't even remember. Was it just a bull or a cow?
I drew a cow tag.
Okay.
First, it's kind of crazy. So my whole family, they're all hunters. I have 3 kids, husband. It's crazy. My husband was never a hunter. He didn't grow up in a hunting family and never had hunter safety, anything like that. So we'd go out to the farm. He'd drop me off, and I'd go pheasant hunting. And he's like,
There you
that
go.
looks kind of fun. I was like, go on, try it. He's like, yeah. I was like, well, here's my gun. I'm going about a mile that way. You call me when you're done. There's my safety here,
Yeah,
And
perfect.
So he started to enjoy it. And so I made him take hunter safety it was like him and 50 12-year-olds. So now, and down by our farm, I believe it's 3E1 or 3F1 or
Okay.
something. I can't remember the area. We've been blessed to draw tags every year.
Good.
The last few years, have been kind of rough with the deer population, but this year we actually saw quite a few down there.
Well,
And
good.
so every year we were drawing like 4 tags, and I'm the one that does the processing. So I'm like, I'm not putting in anymore. I'm gonna put in for big buck tag in 4D.
Oh,
So for 7 years I was putting in for that, and this year I was like, I'm not really a big fan of elk meat. It's not my favorite. I'll take a moose
Really?
any day of the week. Oh yeah, I
moose
love
is good eating.
moose. Is like my all-time favorite.
I like moose.
And so this year I was like, you know what? I'm just going to put in for a cow tag, because a cow is going to taste better than a bull anyway. And maybe it'll be better. First year I ever put in for
Oh,
a tag.
everybody's yelling right now, like, really?
Well, see, the secret is you just got to put in for a cow tag.
For cow.
Honestly, I heard that this year they're projecting there to be extra cow tags left over because everybody wants to put in for a bull. I get it.
So-
It's a once in a lifetime tag.
So if you draw a cow tag, then you can't apply for a bull. That is your once in a lifetime tag.
Yep.
Okay.
I did talk to a guy though this year that he allowed us to allowed me to come down and hunt on his land.
Mhm.
He's got he's got like 200 elk on his land, and they're just destroying his fence lines. And
Oh yeah, they just walk right through them, run right.
Oh, I mean, it was sad, honestly. Like he kind of took us around, and like all his like that whole top fence is just snapped, brand spanking new. And it's like, yep, just fixed that last week, and it's in a big old knot, you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was visiting with him, and he's really been trying to talk with the Game and Fish and getting them to do, you know, like if you put in for a cow tag, whether you shoot one or you don't, in 5 years, then you can put in for a bull tag, you know. So it wouldn't.
Right.
And if you really want to control the population, I think that's a really great way to do it, because you're surely not going to control the population shooting all the bulls.
No. And it's getting, I mean, there is getting to be a significant amount of elk in the state of North Dakota. You know, we've got a unit just to the east of me now. I put in for that one every year, and I know how that one happened. The res brought in some elk. Their elk have just flourished there on the reservation, on their Indian ground over there. And of course, they're not, the fence is kind of like Custer State Park. They did maintain them, I think, on purpose. Now the whole hills is populated with elk again. Well, you got the same thing happen here. We get elk through here probably every year now. These satellite bulls get kicked out, and I mean, I don't have a sustained herd here, but I do get elk wandering through here just about every late summer, early fall.
That's cool.
So I would love to throw one in the freezer, but no, I better not do that. Not unless I have a tag.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they need to really review that process, because
I do too.
I'm telling you, I put in for a bull, and I'm not going to put in for a cow. I'm just not, because I'm not going to use that as my once in a lifetime. I think if you draw a cow, that would help. I like the idea. I don't know if I'd make them wait for 5 years, but I do really think that would be great. And if they get changed, they're going to have to make it so that when you put in for that elk tag, you don't lose your points then if they're going to do it that way.
Right.
Or if they'll let you reapply it. You should be able to keep your points then for that bull, because some of us have been putting in a long time for
right. It is crazy, because not only did I draw an elk tag, I drew my 4D buck tag the same year.
I mean, when I became a North Dakota resident, that really, it sucked in a way, because I'd been putting in for the South Dakota elk tag. I started when I was 16, and then I lost like 20 plus years of points because I wasn't a resident anymore of South Dakota, and I never did draw one. Yeah. I still think, because I used to go and, you know, I might have been a little vocal at some of the meetings once in a while when I'd go and address issues.
Not you, Clay.
Not me. I love it when they can't answer me, because that means then it's all fluff, smoke, and mirrors. I mean, let's just face it. The things I ask should be pretty straightforward, black and white, and they never give you an answer, not a real one.
Right.
But Leon laughed. He goes, yeah, plausible deniability, Clay. There you go, Leon. Allegedly, right? Allegedly. So, all right, so you get your tag. You go out to go hunting. How many days in the field did you spend? Because it looked like quite a few to me.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know. It was a lot. It was a lot of days, a lot of miles. I know that opening weekend, my brother came down from Williston, and it was hot. I think it was like 70, 80 degrees.
It was crazy this fall.
It was so hot. I mean, it started out in the morning, it was cool. Right. And so I had layers on, and I mean, we were up and down the Badlands, up and down, walking through. And I mean, I had to stop in the middle and couldn't take off any more layers at that point. So that was opening weekend. I think we did about 14 miles on foot that weekend.
Wow.
And
it wasn't really hunting weather, was it?
No, not at all. You know, and those elk areas, we weren't real familiar with hunting in those areas, because we do a lot of our, deer. And so, trying to find where to start, I had a lot of friends who live in those areas. So they're like, hey, we got this place, and send me different pins on Onyx. And, we were down by Amadon. West of Amadon. I mean, I literally covered the entire. I'm pretty sure I can be an elk outfitter in unit E3 and E4 now. Because I've been
Well, and
to
then you get
all
up
the
there.
edges.
So you get up there kind of north of where Scotty Buckmeyer lives up there, north of Rame. Did you get up into that country where it's like a whole different world? You don't think of a
It-
forest in the area, but there's one there.
It is beautiful. I was down by
Yes.
Scott's area. Yeah, I actually talked to him a couple of times, and and every time I talk to him, he's like, I know where all the bulls are. I'm like, that don't do me any good. I need to know where the cows are, But it was kind of a tough year for elk hunting just because of the lack of snow and the really warm weather. I mean, they didn't really move.
Well, they don't bunch up. They're
No.
scattered. It's not
Yep.
when that cold weather comes, it's like any other animal. They will bunch up, depending on the degree of the weather, right?
Yep.
It depends on how bad it is, how cold it is, how much snow. But when it's nice out and 70 degrees, I mean, this happened to me when I went to Colorado. Okay.
Yeah.
Colorado used to be over the counter. So you go over buy an over the counter bull tag. Your chances of filling were high, right?
Right.
That year it was 70 degrees up at 10,000 feet during
That's
elk
crazy.
season. I mean, I got a picture of me standing going out through the pass, and here it is. I'm wearing a t-shirt and my Hunter orange. It's insane.
Yeah.
So, and it made it very difficult because we had no way to really track them because there's no snow.
Yeah, there's no snow. There's
Um,
no mud because there's no moisture. Yeah.
When we did finally get on some bull, and I had a bull only, so I couldn't take out a cow. I saw a few cows, but even they were scattered. I mean, we had horses. I can't tell you how many miles we rode and walked. I was in a lot better shape then, but even then, I wasn't in that kind of shape to be jumping up and down those steep banks because we shouldn't have even had to be up as high as we were, but there was no snow to push them out of there.
Yep.
And I know what you mean. You get into that warm weather, yeah, it's great, right? But it really sucks when you're hunting because it really changes the habits of everything.
It sure does. And I've never elk hunted in my life. My brother never elk hunted. We were completely new to this. No clue what we're doing. I mean, so as the season went on, I had been out, I'd gone out. I was always in the right place, but at the wrong time. I'd leave down by Scott Bachmeyer's place and another guy down there. And the next day he'd send me a herd of like 75 running across like, oh my God. I was just sitting there yesterday, but it's an hour drive down there and an hour back. So it's, with work and not being able to go by myself, I'd take one of my kids or something with me. My husband's working or my brother was working. He tried to come down on weekends. And so it was difficult. Weather didn't help much, hard to track. I had a couple people take me out. And then my son's really good friend. He has shot a lot of elk. He's from out by Montana. And he's like, it's just like my thing. And I'm like, well, we're getting down to the wire here. Like there's 10 days left and I am taking off of work. I told him, I'm like, I'm not even coming in, and the pressure is getting more and more because everyone, did you get an elk yet? Did you get an elk yet? Finally, I'm not a big fan of AI, but I went into Chat GPT and I was like, put me by an elk with my 6'5" PRC. How elk it pulled up a picture and it was so believable. I had so many people fall for it. It was actually quite funny.
It's kind of amazing what you can do. That's intro song that you heard. That's all AI generated. I got tired of getting dinged on YouTube for copyright, even though we really Star Spangled Banner. It's not copyright, and that was my sister singing it, but we still got dinged. And you're arguing with a computer AI thing. So like that with it. Yep. Made the song. I put some words in there, kind of gave it the genre. Boom. I mean, it's got, I guess, a use. I still don't like it, but it was my solution to that. Just like you're saying, that was your solution. Yeah. I don't believe much I see anymore.
So we got down to so we got down to the last 10 days, and I mean, I was going out every single day. I sat by a guy's haystack. They were just destroying his haystack. And I mean, you went out there and you couldn't even walk without stepping on elk droppings. I mean, they
Really?
were everywhere. The ground was
You're in the right
completely
place.
Yeah, but they wouldn't come in till after dark. He's like, "Well, get a spotlight." I'm like, "I wish." I'm like, I'm not gonna go to that extent, you know?
Good thermal scope, right? No.
Right? Yeah, he's like, "I don't care what you got to do to take them out." And they were just, I mean, you could see where they were just pulling the hay right out of his haystacks, and I mean, just huge gouges. I saw it away from me, and they weren't coming until after dark, and then they were leaving before sun in the morning.
Right.
You know, the weather was just did not cooperate real well. So then, you know, I had gone out to there was like a wildlife, or a guy has some land over by beach area, and open plots land. So my son and I went out there. We went out, we drove out to the farmstead, parked, walked in a couple of miles, and got up on this hill. And I mean, prime area for where elk should be. And we sat there, we froze. It was cold. It was actually cold that day. It was like, I don't know, single digits out. But we sat up there for 4.5 hours and just glassed and nothing. And so we just we left there. We walked back to the car to warm up and drove around, and, you know, all the areas where we saw the elk, we weren't allowed to hunt. And yeah, so I was just kind of getting frustrated, and it was, I talked to one of my friends who he works in the oil field. He's a pumper, and he said, you got to go over on this road. It's up by beach, Clear or Creek.
Okay.
Creek Road or whatever. Anyway, he said every morning 6:30 they cross the road right there, and I had heard that from a couple other people, and so I was like, well, all right, I'm gonna go out. It's literally the last day of the season. I get up 4:00 in the morning, get my stuff together, get in my truck, head out. Well, earlier in the year, my husband hit a deer with a truck and took out a headlight. And I'm driving down the road, and I had my cruise control set, have my gun right beside me, and I'm coming up over this hill, and you crest the hill, and, you know, it's an older truck, so it kicks up a gear, and then, of course, I'm speeding at that point, and here's a cop. Pulls me over. And I was like, oh, this is great. I got a rifle sitting next to me. I'm trying to get out before sunup. Yeah. And he's like, well, I need to see your registration. And I was like, okay. I said, I got a rifle right here. I can't lean over and grab it. Can I pick it up and move it? Yeah, okay. He was kind of leery, but told him I was out elk hunting. I said, yeah, we had a deer take out their headlight. It's on order. We're getting it fixed, waiting on insurance. And he did let me go. So anyway, that started out my morning last day. And actually, I went solo my last day. I told my husband, I said, I'm going by myself. He's like, well, what if you get one? I said, I'll figure it out. I got this, you know? And let me tell you, like, about 2 days into this 10-day straight hunt, I was like, I hate elk hunting. I am so glad this is a once-in-a-lifetime deal. I am never going to do this again, and I don't have to do it again. I am never going elk hunting again. I do not like it. I was just so frustrated. And so anyway, I get out to my spot. We actually had snow that day, so I could, you know, and it was very kind of foggy. It lifted quickly, but everything was just white. So I'm like, well, I should be able to see a herd of 70 elk coming through the snow. So I'm in my area watching. I'm not seeing nothing. I was like, well, I'm going to go down towards this creek that he's talking about. And so I drive down there, and I come up over this hill, and I look, and I was like, oh my gosh. I saw like 10 elk, you know? And so I got all excited, and I called my son's friend, who is the elk hunter in Montana, because he went out as well. Him and his wife, they were up north on oh geez, I can't remember the name of the road. It's way up north off of 85. And
Okay. Yeah.
so on the opposite side of the river of where I am, and I get up on the hill because I didn't have service where I was, and he didn't really have service. So I called for like 20 minutes, finally got a hold of him. I was like, dude, hey, I found the elk. And I said, I went back down again. I saw it first on 10, but I went back down again, and there's like probably 50 of them there. He's like,
Oh,
well,
wow.
I'm coming. So it takes him 3 hours because he's got to drive all the way around the river from where he's at just to get there. So no, it wasn't quite 3 hours. It was probably about 2 because I called him about that was probably about 8 o'clock, I think it was, and he got there about 11. Well, 8:30, 11, somewhere around there. It was about 2.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he got over there, and I said, well, I'm going to go sit down back on the hill and just watch. Well, I didn't even like glaze the I was just looking in this tree in this little valley there. And here up on this plat, there's like 150 elk all together.
Wow.
And I was just like, oh my gosh.
Your little buck fever, did you?
Oh, I did. And like I didn't know anything about elk. I'll admit it. I didn't know a lot about elk hunting because I'd never done it before. And there was really no good way for me. I told him, I said, there's really no good way for me to get there because of the way the wind is blowing and how it's all open, like in between me and the elk. And, then I learned about how they set out their little satellite ones to watch. And I got to glassing the area, and, they had a cow here, and then one on here, and one over here, and then one over here, here. And it was
eyes everywhere, right?
Yes, I really learned a lot this season about elk hunting. So anyway, he gets there. He's like, you're right. There really is no good way. He said, I think the only way I can do this is if I go down the hill, drive up and behind him and try to push him back this way. So he drives around and I get positioned on the hill. Well, when he went around that corner, there was 6 bulls sitting on the hill on the other side that we didn't see.
Wow.
So they jumped up and moved the herd west of us. And about that time, two guys on a side-by-side come flying down the road. I was like, shoot, they know they're there, So we were going to try to go around because I had permission from the guy that owned the land on the other side a few days prior to that. And anyway, they took off after him. And so we're like, we got to follow them. So we followed the guys. They had no hunter's orange on, nothing, blended in. And so we stop. They go up over the hill, get out, boom, boom. I don't know if they ever hit anything, but of course, then it shot them off about a mile or so the other direction. And so we decided to get back in the vehicle and go around the other side where I had the permission. Called the guy, said, hey, talked to you a few days ago. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, he's like, they don't usually stay on my land. I was like, yeah, I know, I understand. But I said, they're there. By this time, it's like 2:00 in the afternoon.
So the time is ticking away.
Time is ticking. And we get over there and he's like, well, I'm getting really tired of elk hunters. And I don't know if I want to have anybody out there. And I'm not there to watch and see. And he's like, I think we're just gonna have to start charging. And I said, well, okay, like, how much you gonna charge me? It's the last day. What are you gonna charge me? He's like, well, I'm not really there to monitor it, so I'm just gonna have to say no. I was like, are you kidding me?
And they were on his land.
Yeah. Yep. They were just standing there. So I was like, well, and my son's friend had found a couple up where he was. Mm-hmm. And 2:00, I was like, well, there's no sense in sitting here wasting my time if they're going to move or not. So I was like, let's just hightail it. So I parked my vehicle at the gas station in Medora, and we went up through the park, and we figured, let's just hunt through that area. Well, not through the park, obviously, but drive through the park and hunt all the way up East River Road to get where we were going. And I was like, at least if we see something, we can, whatever. Right. But we ain't going to see anything on 85. So we hightailed it up there, got up to I think Upper Magpie Road, that's where it was. I mean, we went way back far in, got up there, state land, and those two elk were still there that evening. And well, it was like 4:00, 4:15 when we got
pushing
there.
it for time then, ain't you?
Yeah. And so they're about 1,100 yards out. And so we kind of made a little game plan. We kind of dropped down below the hill. His wife dropped us off, and she was gonna back up and go up the hill, and then just kind of turn away and go park at there was an oil well site up there. And he said, we're just going to so we went up on the kind of the crest of the hill, and just so we could see them, and we watched the elk. And as she backed up, those elk were watching her to see what they were, what she was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And finally the one went back to feeding, and the other one just kept watching her. He's like, all right, now their time. We gotta and down the hill, and then we can get closer to them, because we were about 1,100 yards out. And so we did that, got over the hill, crawled up, and belly crawled up to the top of that hill. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to calm myself, take my deep breath. We were 350 yards away. I dropped my deer at 350 yards this year. I mean, double lung shot, jumped up in the air, boom, done. I'm like, I can do this, 350 yards. So we get up there, and I mean, by this time it's like 5:00. Like we're already it's sundown, and now we have the 30 minutes after.
Yeah.
And you know what it's like trying to shoot at that hour. It's not easy.
You better have good optics.
Yep.
That's why I spend probably more on my optics than I ever do on my gun, because that's what you're talking about. That's when those extra dollars pay off, because it'll draw all the light in. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. So get up there, lay down, and that elk is standing there broadside. They have no clue that we're there. I rack in a shell, boom, nothing.
Oh.
I'm like, what in the world is going on? That elk never moved. Racked in another one, boom, nothing. I shot 6 shells at that elk. Never moved, never hit it. I couldn't see where it was hitting. I was so mad. I was like, that's it. I'm never elk hunting again. I'm never doing this again. He's like, there's something wrong with your gun. I was like, there's clearly something wrong with your gun, because there's no way. An elk is a bigger target than a deer.
Elk's a good sized animal, yeah.
Yeah. I never got my elk this year. Afterward, I called up my friend. I was like, hey, because we used to have we had a 243. That was our deer gun that we shot. And
okay.
I'll be the first to admit, I don't know a lot about rifles. Handguns, different story. Rifles, I'm just not. I mean, we deer hunt, that's it. I don't target, practice, all that. I don't do competitions or anything like that. So not real familiar with them, but I know how to operate them, and for the most part,
how to shoot a big game animal.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I called my buddy. I was like, so my brother let me use his 6.5 Creedmoor, 6.5 PRC. It was a Christensen arm with all those fancy MOA dials, and he showed me how to use it. And like I said, I use it for deer hunting. It worked great. All 3 of my kids shot their deer with it. Or my 2 kids, my son had used his gun. My 2 kids did, and we all used it, and dead on, nailed them. And so I am getting to that point.
I figured you were getting there. Yeah.
I called up my buddy, because I knew that if I took this gun back to my brother and he took it out to the range, he'd be like, nope, everything's fine. You just suck. And I'm like, I know I don't suck. I know I'm a good shot. So I called up my buddy. He met me out at the range. We put up a piece of paper at 100 yards with an X on it, and shot 3 times. First 2 didn't even hit the paper. The last one hit the upper left-hand corner, just nicked it. So that was at 100 yards. So at 350 yards, I was
dumb
shooting.
Question maybe, but I imagine you sighted it in before you ever went out, right?
Yes, we did.
Okay, so yeah, all right, go ahead.
Yeah, I have no clue what happened. We actually had a trap meeting that night. I was a little late getting to the meeting because I was at the range because I'm like I'm
Yeah.
figuring this out. And one of our other board members he does a lot of long range shooting. He was actually just down in Oklahoma, Derek Karski. And I was like, Derek, I don't know. There's something wrong with his gun. And he went out and he was looking at it and he said it felt like the barrel was a little bit loose. So I don't know.
Really?
Maybe, yeah, I don't know.
I suppose that piece, I mean, that it's always possible, I guess.
I mean, 10 days straight of hunting up and down the Badlands. I mean, I put over 40 miles on foot elk hunting this season. So who knows? I mean, nothing ever dropped. I don't know what happened. So that last day of elk hunting, going out by myself, finding the herd by myself, that was really empowering to me. And just exciting. Like all of it was just exciting. And so I gave the gun back to my brother and I said, that's it. I am going to learn everything I can possibly learn about guns. I'm going to build my own gun. I'm going to get my own optics. I'm going to learn everything about it. So Derek has hooked me up with the book, and I've been reading my little book about guns for dummies. I don't know what it is.
Well, it's like anything else, Carrie. The more you do it, the more knowledge you get, the better you'll get. I can tell you, once you get the gun you want. My favorite is my Winchester Model 70 270. I've probably killed 90% of my big game animals with it. Yep. That's just my go-to gun. I've even taken it elk hunting, and I made a load for it that was heavier, so with a Mauser partition bullet, because I wanted to use that gun.
Sure.
I have good optics on it, but I have other ones. It's all in what your preference is. Caliber matters. I think the 6 or 6.5, either one's a little bit small for elk, but you know what? It can be done. Okay.
Yep.
It's what you're familiar with, what you get used to. And it comes down to checking everything. I mean, whether it's the stock being loose from the barrel, it could happen depending on what kind of gun you have. Mine are free floating, most of them, so I don't have to worry about it. Everything's done into the receiver. But optics, very important. Mounts and rings. Don't buy cheap ones. Put good ones on there and stay put. And then it's just a matter of getting behind it and sending some freedom seeds downrange. Plain and simple.
Well, I've been helping out at a meat shop a couple days a week, and so I've been stockpiling my cash from that, and I am building myself a gun. And my son's friend who elk hunts in Montana, we're gonna go elk hunting out in Montana. So I'm redeeming myself because I am not a bad shot, and I am not happy about how this ended. Even though a few days prior I was like, I hate elk hunting. I'm never doing this again.
I've even bought high-end optics and gotten a bad one that when I shot it, and it was supposed to be able to take I was shooting my Lapua, and that should have handled that no problem. And it knocked the reticle loose inside the gun. Yep. Things happen, like Doug says. Yeah, things happen to optics. Yep. But I guess that's why I wanted to have you on and talk about the elk hunt, because I knew kind of your story because you kind of told it. I was like, but now look at what you're going to do. You're more determined to make sure that you're a good shooter and have the right equipment, right?
Yeah. Well, I know I'm a good shooter. I know that for a fact. I'm just, like I said, I dropped my deer at 350 yards, double long shot, boom, down.
Leon says,
Leon, I don't know what I'm building yet. I have not gotten that far. I am all ears. I have lots of guys that are willing to help. I told him, I said, I'll be the first to admit I don't know much about it, but don't make me feel stupid, because I don't know. Right. So I have not decided on a caliber yet. I've had a lot of people say a 308 Win Mag. My brother's like, nope, it's too slow. I don't even want to talk about it. But
308s are fine. They're a nice 30 caliber, round. They're a little slow moving, but you can learn how to shoot that.
Well, and I want to get into reloading, and then he talked about, it's easy So
you're looking to buy one gun to pretty much use across the board?
I am.
So I would look at 270 can get a little bit light for some bigger animals, but a 284 Win Mag, man, nice gun. They really are.
Yeah.
I've had several, and that's one that always seems to elude me in keeping. For some reason that's the one I trade off or I sell all the time. But there are other rifles out there that got a little more oomph. They're not quite 30 cals, but 30 cals are good too. It's just all what you can handle and what you want to shoot. It comes down to your own personal
And that's the thing is
I go shoot a few.
I really want to get out and just shoot several different calibers and different styles.
Yep.
And just see what I like. But
Well, Gene's chiming in here, and Gene's a shooter, okay? Gene, and he really loves the military competition shoots and things like that. But he says it's I'll put it up here. He says I don't hunt elk, but he says I have accuracy and a bullet performance in media is great, but the Hornady CX 30-06 180 grain is good. Yeah, and that's just it. You're gonna find most of the time this world, the shooting world, they're going to be more than ready to help you. Especially, I don't know if you find it, but I've always found that ladies, I'd rather teach ladies because they'll listen. They don't come with a preconceived idea that they know it all.
yeah. Like I said, I'm the first to admit it, but just don't make me feel like I'm stupid because I don't know, because I'll probably tell you off.
And then they eagerly learn and they eagerly do it right because they didn't have an idea already in their head. And I always enjoyed it when I was doing, anything. If I was teaching ladies to shoot, to me, they were the most proficient when we were done because they listened.
Yeah. I mean, I've been helping Alana out. We did a.
There's a good one. Steve says set it up for a suppressor. Absolutely, get it threaded. I'd have the barrel.
That is one thing. Yep. My brother had a suppressor for that gun, but obviously whenever he was not with me, I couldn't use it. And
allegedly,
right. He had oh gosh, I can't. This is drawing a blank. It was loud. It rang your brain for 3 days. So let me tell you, after 6 shots,
it
was terrible.
I'll tell you what, we're coming up to the bottom of the hour. Let's take another quick break here, and we'll come back and we'll finish this up. But this one, I wanted you to talk about this hunt because I knew you didn't get an elk, right?
Yep.
But yet you still, it was a successful hunt in the sense of hunting.
The memories were.
Yeah, exactly. So let's take a quick break. We'll come back here and then we'll finish that up, and that'll probably take us through the end of the show. So
sounds
good. We'll be right back.
Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
When you want it done right, go where lemons go. Kalen's Auto Service, owned and operated by Kalen and Misty Foss, lifelong locals with over 25 years experience. From modern rides to classic restorations, they can handle it all. Top quality work, fair price, and honest hometown values. Located just 1 block south of Highway 12 on 6th Avenue West in Lemon. Kalen's Auto Service, serving you with all your auto repair needs.
For the best gun gear for every and any situation, Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
At Horton Laser Craft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton Lasercraft makes every moment unforgettable. Horton Lasercraft is owned and operated by a local veteran and his wife located near Thunderhawk, South Dakota. They provide custom laser products at a reasonable price, and their turnaround time is fast and efficient.
Custom board cutting, glassware, decanter sets, mugs, assorted stainless steel jewelry, assorted tags, decor, custom acrylic nightlights, and much, much more.
Call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton Lasercraft, where memories are engraved.
All right, welcome back, everybody. And I was reading some of the comments there. Gene, he actually mentioned it. I do love these two. The 7mm08, another fantastic round. It's pretty flat shooting. It still has a little bit of more oomph. And it, you know, like I said, I'm not big on 30-06s and 308s. It's just not my thing. I have a 338 Lapua and a 338 Win Mag. A lot of gun, okay? It's a lot of gun.
Oh, I know. I've shot my brother has a Lapua, and holy cow.
Yeah, and you know, they're fun. I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
they're a lot of fun. But when I'm hunting,
too.
yeah, that 7mm08's another good one. I have a 25-06 I like, and a 7mm08. They're all fun guns, and they shoot well. So you have some range up there in that higher end that goes above your 6mm.
I need to come over and shoot some of those that you got
Absolutely.
in the background there.
Absolutely. I have a few, and that's just a sampling.
Well, you tell me when range day is, and I will be there.
Well, we were looking at doing one kind of over that Memorial Day weekend, but and then I got to talk to Jamie and Axe because I know they'll probably want to do one up there again at Axe's range. So, yeah, we're probably going to have a couple of them here come this, you know, later spring, early summer. So yeah, I'll keep you in the loop on them because I have steel set up out on my own range right here to 700. I bought another target and I got the pipes now cut. So I'm planning to get my 1,000-yard range out there now too. So I have a variety of targets. 100, I do it 100, 325, 500, and 700 right now. And the nice thing about that is when you go out to the field, then you have a good idea what them ranges are without using a rangefinder, because that's what I shoot all the time. Yeah, I can tell you this, Scary. I had really lost. I hadn't done it in a while, and I'm finally hitting my 700-yard target again. I had lost that because I hadn't been shooting like I should have been. Yeah, you can lose, but it comes back. It comes back. My favorite is still around that 325, 350 yards, and then my 270. That's just my favorite gun to shoot. So.
Yep. Yeah.
He says we can. Doug says we can tame, or say a can will tame down any caliber except my 50 cal. Yeah. Steve Langley says, yeah, granddaughter shoots 7mm08 and they kill stuff in South Dakota. Yeah, the 7mm08, and I think a lot of Eric Newman's. A lot of times he's tuning in on the show, but a lot of times I think Eric's wife is shooting a 7mm08. It's just a good all around round. It just is. So keep that in mind. And yeah, you're welcome to come here and try any caliber you want. For it. What's that?
How about finding ammo for 7mm08?
It's pretty easy to find. I bet you, you know, if I'm thinking about the big places in Dickinson, I bet Andrus would have them, or Runnings would carry 7mm08. But I reload for it. So I guess I don't worry about it. So
I want to learn reloading. That's on my list to do too. In my
Justin said,
time.
yeah, 280 Ackley. 280 Ackley improved. That's another great round. The 280 came out years ago, and another good. There's just a ton of rounds up there in that just under 30 caliber, but above the 25. So yeah, it's just
Sure.
you can come try out anyone that I got here. Because
I'm going to take you up on that.
just getting behind the rifle and shooting it will give you a good idea what you're going to want in a caliber and in a rifle, in all honesty. It's kind of, remember I think I told you that a long time ago. When you're picking a handgun, go shoot some first.
Yep.
And then decide which one you want to get, because
right.
When it comes to which one should you have, well, opinions are multiple, aren't they? They're
my gosh. That, and that's when I went to go take my concealed carry, I like needed a handgun, and so I went to a store in Dickinson, and I was like, I really don't know a lot about them. I said, I know how to shoot them, and I know the basics, but I need a good gun. And he's like, oh, you need a 38 special. Oh my gosh. I hated that thing so bad. I couldn't wait to sell it. I did. I don't typically sell guns, but that one went down the road. I hated that thing so bad.
I don't mind shooting 38s for fun, but that's not going to be my self-defense fire.
No, it was a terrible self-defense gun. So,
and in all honesty, a lot of times depending on where I'm going, I carry a 22 mag in the North American Arms, that little revolver.
Yeah.
Because I guess I look at it like this. I want to make sure I stop the threat. And a lot of times, some of them encounters are pretty close range.
Mm-hmm.
22 mag from them Hornady VMAXs, close range.
Yeah.
Take care of that.
Yep. Yeah.
And I don't want to kill anybody.
Right.
You do what you need to defend yourself. But if I feel like I'm threatened that bad, I'm kind of glad I have that, because I can probably get the job done and then let the law take care of them, right? But yeah, I like what everyone's still chiming in here. See, I knew this would happen. Everybody was like, hey, I got an idea for you, right? But Kelly, he's a good guy over there by Valley City area. He says, find a rifle that fits you and go after the caliber. Yeah, find a good rifle and then go for the caliber. But if you're building your rifle, that gives you a little extra edge, because you can build that rifle to fit. That's what's cool about that. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I want Clay to give us his best haka. Gene says, I carry a 38. There's nothing wrong with a 38. A lot of people carry them. I like my 10 millimeter, honestly. I do like that gun. I have that, 5.7 by 28. That's another fun gun to carry. But
and then when I got to my concealed carry class, I didn't have a speed loader for it, and nobody had one that would fit it. So the guy the instructor's like, well, here, just use mine. I'd never used one before, and I was like, I kind of wanted to go off on my own area, so I didn't want to embarrass myself. But hey, you know what? I beat everybody there, so, even the guys. So I was pretty proud of myself. Not even my own gun.
So you had to do it without the gun you actually bought the gun for, right?
Yep.
It happens.
Yep.
Leon says 9 millimeter, brother.
That's why I carry is 9 millimeter Hellcat. So.
And he says 10 millimeter ammo, though. It's not that bad to find, honestly. I guess maybe I do not reload my handguns mostly. I do reload my 44 mag, my 357 mag, and my 45 Colt. Those are only 3 calibers I really reload for handguns. The rest of them I just buy ammo. But the 10 millimeter, I haven't had a lot of trouble finding the ammo. It is expensive, but all ammo is expensive anymore.
Yeah.
I guess I'm blessed enough. I really don't worry about it. But not everybody can do that. So,
yep.
Yeah, Doug says, I carry a 380. Yeah, 380. Another great little gun. Danelle carries a 380. She got that little Kimber. And
I like those. Those are fun to shoot.
It barks pretty good, but it's easy to handle. It's a little small for my hands, but she's pretty good with it, and it's not too bad to work the action. So Leon, no effing 380. Hey, there's nothing wrong with 380 autos. Come on now, but anyway. So we kind of got off track there, but I want you to wrap up the elk hunt. I'm with you. I think you probably summed it up best, the memories, right? And I guess I'll let you expound on that, because I want to make the point that women can hunt, right? It's awesome to see women out there doing it. And you even went solo, and tried it. And no hunter has to harvest to make it a successful hunt. I know several that they think that is the end all be all, but it's not. And I'll let you take it from there.
Yep. And like that last day was probably the best ever. I mean, I don't even know why I decided I'm just going alone. Like, I think by that time I was just kind of over it, the pressure. I mean, everybody was texting me every night. Did you get your elk? Did you get your elk? I'd go into work. Did you get your elk yet? I'm like, no. If I had an elk, it'd be in the cooler here.
Yeah, hanging up, and
yeah. So, just like someone had mentioned early, time out in nature. Just being outdoors and there's just something rewarding. That last day, like I said, 3 days prior, I'm like, I hate this. I am never doing it again. I don't have to do it again because it's once in a lifetime. So, and if my family draws, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not going. They're on their own. But that last day was just really kind of an eye opener for me. I made that choice to go out solo and get out there. And I mean, I had to talk myself into it because I did not want to go. But I'm like, you know what? I've gotten this far. You are going to go and make the best of it. And, once I made up my mind, I was like, okay, I'm doing this. I'm doing this, and I'm going to work for it. I'm going to work as hard as I can for it. And I did. And, there was just something really rewarding being able to find that herd of 150 elk by myself after spending 40 miles on foot through the whole season, at least that much, trying to find them, and being in the right place, but always at the wrong time. Right. So like the memories of that are just that's priceless.
Jennifer says proud of you. Yeah, that's just it. And I don't know, for me I love when I'm sitting out there and I know I've walked into an area, and sometimes a long ways, before the sun comes up, and then I get to watch that sun come up, and nothing knows I'm there.
Yeah.
I don't know. The peace and the solitude of that, and then you hear the whole waking up of the world, whether it's somebody popping off their tractor to start chores, or you hear a coyote out there howling. And I like to hunt coyotes, still do. Yeah. I like calling them in as
I want to do that. See, I'm going to come down. I want to go coyote hunting.
Well, you know where I live.
I do. Come on down. You need to tell me when you're available.
Well, during calving season, I ain't going to be straying far from this place.
And you'll be wanting to shoot coyotes that are coming in. So,
I do. And I mean, I've had the boys out there. It's just, I love being out there. Like I just went 2 weeks ago with my youngest son, and we went down on a place I'd never been on, some of his friends, and it was along a river bottom. Not exactly the best day to go hunting, but you know what? It was one of my favorite days hunting, I think, here in recent times, because I was out there with him and then his buddies who are brothers. Yeah. And we just sat there and called and watched the world come to life. Yeah. I just loved that part of it. Sitting there watching that sun come up. Mm-hmm. To me, that was success. Getting the coyote, but we didn't. I knew it was going to be bad because the weather, the front was moving in. It was getting chilly. It wasn't great. And we didn't even see deer moving. So everything was hunkered down. I was like, all right, this ain't good. And, they were using their electric call. And I started using my mouth calls. I said, let's try that. And we got one faint answer, but I could tell nothing was moving. But I'm telling you right now, I love being out there, especially with them young kids, because I don't know, you're passing that on to them, right?
Absolutely. And this year, the whole deer hunting season, like all my kids had tags, I had tags, and we had a lot of family time together filling tags, and it was just so much fun to be there with my kids. And we did a lot of spot and stock this year.
That's
you
more
know,
fun anyway.
yeah. And honestly, that was really a lot of times, we just sit and wait. But this year we did spot and stock with all three of my kids as deer. Well, the two, I wasn't with my oldest, him and his brother and my daughter and his brother-in-law went out. But I think theirs was kind of similar as well.
Mhm.
But that was a lot of fun, getting
Yep.
my daughter. Actually, my daughter was the first one to get her deer, and we saw them, and so we crossed the fence and ended up crawling up on top of the hill, and she was 418 yards. She dropped it, hit it in the neck, never ruined a stitch of meat off of it. And
That's awesome.
yeah, pretty proud of her. As that was a long shot, especially for a neck shot.
It is, yeah.
She's not shot a whole lot of deer. She's only 17, so I think she's only drawn 3 times. And the first year she didn't get one.
Yeah, Jamie came down here. It had been 2 years ago with the youth tag with his youngest daughter. We got to take her out, and we saw the deer, but we had to go around and then come up on the backside of a hill, and then she made the shot. And I don't know. I don't have to be out there hunting to have a great time. I don't.
Yeah.
I didn't even take a gun that day. I was along for. They were hunting our place, and I was just along just for the whole experience.
Yep. Well, and that's kind of how it was with my son. That one was probably the funnest ever. I kind of wish I would have had a video on myself because it would have been entertaining. So we were up on this hill, and it kind of overlooking these sand dunes, and they were actually going after muley buck that was still in full velvet. It was a really, really cool deer. He was super tall, but very, very narrow and just kind of gnarly antlers. And so they were actually going after him. So we got up on that hill and found him where he usually hangs out. And then my 2 boys and my son's friend that does the elk hunting a lot,
right?
They're like, well, we're gonna trail down, and you can stay up top, and then you can bring the pickup around if we get one, if we get him. So I was like, all right. So I stood up there with a spotting scope and just kind of watched and kept an eye on him, seeing where he was at, and they were walking toward him, and then he went down in this draw and walked away, and I couldn't see him anymore. But then there was all kinds of deer down there, and so I was just watching all of them, and I saw the guys in the spotting scope, and I look over off to the left of where they are, and there's this nice buck. I mean, he's just he's on a mission. He's chasing tail, and he's he's running right at the guys. And so pretty soon they're both in my spotting scope, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, he's right there. I'm commentating to myself up on the hill. And I was like, Jaden, he's running right at you, and pretty soon it pulls over and boom, drops him. It was a nice buck, but it was so fun to watch. I mean,
like I said, I have more
it was
fun
so thrilling
taking out my kids now.
Yeah.
And and then I remember the first time I took both the boys when they got old enough. And so Landon had gotten his the year before because he could go the year before. The next year, Leighton could. So he was actually out there. It was just a doe, but it doesn't matter. It was the whole experience. And they are taking off, leaving me in the dust. I'm fine with that. And they get down there and they kind of lay on their bellies and crawl over this little knoll. And then Leighton drills his deer. And it was cool. I wish I'd have been videoing because I just didn't have a video with me today. Because they both stand up and high five each other. I was like, man, that's something that I'll never forget.
Yep. And that's how it was with my 2 boys too. They were like, heck yeah. They're just cheering and excited. But it was.
I'm going to pick up one of these comments here. Leon says, do you use any type of special scope for a coyote or just wait for the light? I don't have a special scope. I got a good one. I mean, I run good glass. Okay. Like I said, and my 220 Swift, Leon, is my coyote killer. You can ask Jamie. That's my prairie dog. And when I go out there with Jamie and Axe, we do prairie dog. I mean, that is my varmint rodent slayer. I know that gun. I've had that gun since I was 16. It was my grandpa's gun. I know that gun. It's a 55 grain Hornady VMAX with 43.7 grains of powder. I know this gun, and I don't need to, I don't need anything else when I'm out there with coyotes, and I call them in pretty close. I am looking at getting a thermal though, because I'd like to do some night hunting for coyotes and take
I
it
think
down.
that would be fun.
Yeah, when we go hog hunting in Florida, I'd love to have. I take my Swift with me when I go hog hunt. It's funny. I've taken a whole bunch of guns hog hunt. I've killed every single hog I've down there. I've always done it with my Swift. And people are like, I can't believe you're using that little gun. Well, hey, it does the job, and I'm good with it. So yeah, I would just say this, that if you're going to go coyote hunting, get very proficient with the gun. Eric Newman's very good with his beat up. I think that's a 22-250, but that guy can shoot too. And I'm telling you, if you know your gun, it doesn't matter what it is. But glass is important to me because of that low light. Coyotes are coming in when that sun comes up. You start when you can see, you can start. And good glass makes all the difference. It truly does.
That was one thing too. When I was out elk hunting, I was at that guy's haystack, and like I said, don't know much about elk hunting, but the elk were moving closer to me, and they couldn't see me because I was kind of tucked in the haystack. But of course, that sun started coming down, and the coyotes, like, all of a sudden they just went crazy. I mean, doing their howling, yodel, whatever it is. And I was watching the elk, and those elk immediately stopped and turned and went the other way. Oh, yeah. So then I get my phone. I'm like, do elk and coyotes communicate? Because it was so crazy, because they were literally walking right at me, and the minute those coyotes let off, and then they got silent, and I never saw them or heard them again. And then the elk were gone. They went the opposite direction.
I can tell you that they don't necessarily communicate with each other, but animals listen for other animals' warning. Okay.
Right.
So coyote has a very distinctive warning yelp, I guess you'd call it. And really it is. It's if they see something, they get out there and you've probably heard it's more like I can't do it. I'm not even going to attempt tonight. I can do it on my call. And it's just you'll know
That's exactly what it was. Yeah. That's exactly what it was.
You might as well.
It was really loud for a while, and then it was dead silent.
Yep, everything leaves. And the animal, the big game animals have caught on. Just like when you're up there in the mountains or even in the Black Hills, probably out in the bad magpies. I hate magpies. I do not like. They are the narcs of the wildlife world. They see you walking through, and then they start doing their call. You just want to shoot them, but you can't.
Right.
And they will chase everything out too, because other animals know that, oh, hey, there's something not right here. Let's just leave.
Yeah. Well, and that's what Google told me. Yeah, they don't necessarily communicate, but they pick up on. So yeah, absolutely. I was like, you jerks.
if you ever hear them coyotes doing that, you might as well just leave.
Yeah,
I'm not kidding. Everything.
Well, I did, because it was too dark anyway by that time.
That's why, like, when I go coyote hunting, I try to pick spot. Well, I got my own place here, so I don't have to go far if I don't want to, unless I'm just looking for different terrain. But I like to walk in when it's dark. But you got to kind of know where you're going. You got to know the property.
I'm a chicken. I'm still a chicken, even though I have a gun. Oh man,
I've walked into a lot of sets in the dark. And it's perfect because the coyotes, even if they hear you, if you stay downwind from them, can't necessarily smell you. And then when you start, I don't start with a howl generally. If I walked into an area like that, I do a squeak, because I've blowed coyotes out by giving out that big long invite howl, and they leave. I was too close to them, because I can't see them either when I'm walking in there. So yeah. But well, I'll tell you what, we're going to wrap it up. I like to keep these at 2 hours. Any parting words you want to leave?
Parting words.
Yeah. Well, why don't you plug kettle corn? I imagine you're still doing that.
Kettle corn. Yeah, it's getting to be that season. Spring's coming up. So yeah, my husband and I, we have a kettle corn business that we started. Oh, geez, my daughter's 17, so it would have been 14. We're going on year 14, 13 years ago.
Wow.
So yeah, 3J's Kettle Corn. You can find us on Facebook. We do bulk orders. So if you have a graduation or a family reunion or weddings, we do a lot of weddings. You'll find us at Farmers Market in Dickinson this year again. We tend to do a lot of that. We did go around to fairs and stuff, and Farmers Market has just been very good to us, and we're getting a little older now, so it's at that work smarter, not harder stage. So yeah, we that'll be starting up here in June. We'll be at Farmers Market. So you're in need of kettle corn.
Is it 3J's Kettle Corn LLC?
Yep.
There it is.
Yep.
I found it.
Yeah.
How am I not a follower?
I don't know.
Well, we are now. There we go.
No, good deal. Yeah.
So yeah, you
We
can
do
find
several different flavors, and now this year we've added cheddar corn, so we do cheddar and white cheddar. So
I might now have to get. I love I shouldn't eat it though. It's not good for me because
right. I know
it really raises heck with my gallbladder when I eat it. Seems like, but yeah,
moderation.
Yeah, and I can attest. She makes great kettle corn. We remember the NDGF roundup in Medora. We had some there, and then when we came down to the stock show, she brought a lot. So guys, go check it out. Go find her on Facebook page. Like I said, I found it there. 3J's Kettle Corn LLC. It comes right up. So go do that, and yeah. I would really highly recommend it.
Well, thank you.
All right, guys. Well, Carrie, I think we're going to wrap this up. We went the full 2 hours, so I'm not going to do a happy ending. I'll use that tomorrow morning. So tune in tomorrow morning, 5:50 a.m. KFYR, Mitchell in the morning, 7:15 in the morning in the Mountain Time Zone, 8:15 in the Central. Going to have a great show. Like I said, I'll do my happy ending chronicle there. I'm going to be talking about the shooting that took place. Yeah.
There one in Michigan today or something like that?
There's one in Michigan, and there's one in Norfolk, Virginia, that was at the Old Dominion University with ROTC cadet. And the guy, Muhammad Jalal, well, I don't even need to say anything. Just look at that. And he finds out that he, pretty much wanted to do a Fort Hood style attack. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. We got the National Association for Gun Rights. I'm telling you guys, Thomas Massive, he's got a great bill coming out. And I don't know if it'll make it, but it's an actual real constitutional carry bill nationwide. It'll really do a great job. We got a lot of other things going on. I mean, look at what's happening out in Virginia. Some pretty nasty gun laws that were passed and heading to the governor. So tune in for that. Carrie, thank you very much. Carrie's a great patriot. We'll probably have you on again. And get down here. We'll talk. We can get you down here and do some.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, I'd love to do that.
So with that, everybody, thanks again for tuning in. Tune in tomorrow morning, tomorrow night, Blackbeard Logic, and of course, Sunday, Sportsman's Devotion. Every Sunday at 7 o'clock a.m. on the Central Time Zone. And then we'll keep you kind of tuned as to what I'm planning to do here. But it looks like I'm going to make a move from Wednesday nights. I think Jamie's probably going to slip into that Wednesday night slot. This has more so to do with the fact that I have some other things that I would really love to essentially do on Wednesday nights. I want to make a commitment, and it's helping out some youth in a church youth group is what I've been doing. So I'd just like to continue that, and it's been great getting involved with that here in the last month. So that's why I want to move the show to a different night. Just keep tuned. I think I'm going to do Tuesday nights. That seems to be the best one that doesn't interfere with a lot of other things. Anyway, with that, we're going to call it a wrap. Thanks everybody again. Hey, don't forget to thank your God. Thank him for everything you got, and keep your powder dry.
Amen.
See everybody next week.